Hello, coaches and basketball enthusiasts. Welcome to the Coach Carvalho podcast, the podcast that explores the world of basketball analytics and bowl training methods. I'm Coach Carvalho, your host. In today's episode, we will examine how analytics can be a game changer and a powerful ally for coaches who want to compete smarter and give their team a real chance to win games and championships, even without superior talent. Basketball, especially in a competitive setting, is a test of a team's strategy, preparation, and execution. Every game puts a system under pressure and often shows where adjustments are needed. When two teams of similar level play the same way, using the same systems, the more talented roster usually comes out on top. Why? Because the team with less talent didn't do enough to force the opponent out of their comfort zone or take away their best scoring option. That's where basketball analytics comes in. I see it as a gift, especially for coaches working with teams that don't have every advantage. Why a gift? Because analytics brings clarity. It gives us real numbers to work with and insights that lead to smarter, more intentional decisions. Analytics doesn't just tell us what happened. It helps explain why games are being lost and what needs to change to start winning. It also defines the thresholds, the performance levels we need to bring the opponent down to give a team the best chance to win. That kind of insight can shift the outcome of a single game or even change the course of a season. With that information, coaches can see exactly where the opponent is strong, where they're vulnerable, and what needs to be disrupted to take them out of rhythm. That's when strategy becomes intentional, not just effort or instinct, but deliberate adjustments backed by data. From there, we can design game plans that limit possession time and reduce the opponent's point production per possession until they're no longer playing the game they want to play. Possession time, how long the opponent holds the ball on each possession. The longer they control it, the more comfortable and efficient they become. The goal is to shorten their possession time, limit their shot attempts, and reduce their point production per possession, forcing them to operate under pressure until they're no longer producing enough points to beat a team with your team's characteristics. Points per possession, how many points the opponent scores each time they have the ball. For example, if they score 100 points on 100 possessions, that's 1.0 point per possession. It's a direct measure of offensive efficiency. The lower you can bring this number, the more you shift the game in your favor. Let me break down a few key metrics in simple terms. Possession time, how long the opponent holds the ball on each possession. The longer they control it, the more comfortable and efficient they become. The goal is to shorten their possession time, limit their shot attempts, and reduce their point production per possession, forcing them to operate under pressure until they're no longer producing enough points to beat a team with your team's characteristics. Points per possession, how many points the opponent scores each time they have the ball. For example, if they score 100 points on 100 possessions, that's 1.0 point per possession. It's a direct measure of offensive efficiency. The lower you can bring this number, the more you shift the game in your favor. Player usage, who's actually driving their offense. Not every player needs to be defended the same way. The focus has to be on the ones doing the damage, their highest impact contributors. Game pace, the tempo and rhythm a team tries to impose throughout the game. Sometimes you want to speed it up to disrupt a slow-paced team. Other times you want to slow it down to throw off a transition-heavy team. That decision should always reflect your game plan goals, especially if you're aiming to keep the score. Now let's talk about what we see too often, predictable patterns. Offenses run the same sets on almost every possession. Defenses treat every player the same. Teams either don't make adjustments or when they do, it's already too late. Offensively, the pick and roll is everywhere, but it's often used just because everyone else is doing it, not because it actually creates an advantage. When both teams perform the same actions in the same way, talent becomes the deciding factor. Defensively, too many teams are reactive. They don't deny passing lanes. They don't focus on stopping the players doing the most damage. They defend all five guys the same way. That's a missed opportunity. So here's the question every coach should be asking. Do our current strategies impact the metrics that actually matter? Because every game should be an opportunity to compete to win, not just keep it close. to fully benefit from analytics, we can't keep playing conventional basketball. Standard plays, predictable sets, and generic defensive schemes favor the more talented team. Competing against them takes boldness, flexibility, and a clear purpose. That's why the preseason is so important. It's the time to prepare, not just physically, but mentally. It's where players learn systems that can adapt, strategies that can shift, and roles tied to data-backed goals. That's when a team starts building the structure it needs to compete smart, not just work hard. When coaching is aligned with data, everything changes. Clarity improves, roles sharpen, adjustments become more targeted. It's no longer just about feel. It's about intentional coaching. And just as important, it's about players understanding precisely what's expected on both ends of the floor. That's one of the real strengths of using analytics. It doesn't just help the coach, it helps the whole team. Players understand their roles. Expectations are clear. It builds chemistry. It builds trust. And the beauty of it is when performance isn't matching the game plan goals, it's not over. With the right tracking tools, a team can adjust during the game. Strategies can shift. Adjustments can be made with purpose, not guesswork. And that gives a team a real chance to win the game. Just take a look at last season's NCAA men's tournament. Most teams played the same way. Very few focused on disrupting the key metrics. The one program that consistently did it up until the final game was the University of Houston. They didn't rely on convention. They used analytics and defense to dictate how the game was played. If you're thinking about taking a different approach this offseason, if you want your training to reflect strategy, not just effort, now is the time to align your system with the numbers. Use analytics to guide your offseason training and improve your chances this season. And if you're not sure where to start, that's where I can help. At Smart Hoops Analytics, I work with coaches through our preseason consultancy package to refine or redesign systems based on what truly impacts game results. You don't have to change your coaching identity, just how your system works, so your team can play smarter. Let's connect. Register for a free 60-minute video conference. We'll review your goals and your current system and find where smart adjustments can make a real difference. Coaches, the time is now to visit www.smarthoopsanalytics.com to sign up and learn how we support coaches at every level in building data-driven game plans that win. If this episode got you thinking and you're ready to take more control of your program's direction, take the next step. Book the session. Let's talk about what's possible. Because analytics is the performance divider. It separates teams that just show up from teams that show up with a plan. Well, coaches, that wraps up today's episode. Until next time, stay smart, stay bold, and keep coaching with purpose. This is Coach Carvalho signing off.